Hey, how's it going there, everyone? Welcome back and Happy New Year. Hope you all had a fantastic Christmas holiday. It was pretty nice for us, but fortunately me and the wife caught COVID, so, so yeah, we weren't able to enjoy all of it. But yeah, it's still a pretty good Christmas and New Year all around. But yeah, couldn't wait to get back out on the bike. Been itching to get back out. I haven't been out for a couple of weeks now, so yeah. And the last video that we did at the end of the year was on the ZH2, so I thought I'd come out and shoot the start of 2023 on the ZZR. Alright guys and gals, so riding during the winter can be pretty dangerous, but not just for you, it can also be pretty dangerous for the bike. And that's what we're going to discuss in today's video, is whether or not riding your motorcycle throughout the winter is actually the best way to winterize it, or doing the more logical thing and keeping it in storage or something like that. Well, I have some thoughts on this, so let's jump on the ZZR, let's go for a ride. And yeah, let's see where this journey takes us, because this is quite a difficult question to answer, but I'll do my best with the experience that I've had. And yeah, I suppose you guys can make up your own minds. But yeah, let's jump on. We've actually had quite a nice break in the weather. The winter solstice came around and then all of a sudden, yeah, it's a bit wet, but it was actually pretty warm. It's about 10 degrees today. So yeah, couldn't wait to get back out. I was kind of half tempted to not actually shoot any videos today, just because I didn't want to have that pressure. I just wanted to get out and ride, you know. But I've left it pretty late in the day. But there you go. But yeah, that is the thing that a lot of people do in the winter. They will so-called winterize their motorcycles, and usually that means doing a cleanup, putting the batteries on a tender or something like that, charge them up, and basically not ride throughout the winter months. But you'll get some other riders that will say things like, well, the best way to winterize your bike is actually to ride it. And I don't know, I kind of understand what they mean by that, but at the same time I don't wholeheartedly agree with that. So what I mean by winter can be very dangerous for the bike is this is when, at least here in the UK, and I'm sure in a lot of other Northern Hemisphere countries during the winter months, councils, local councils are endlessly, tirelessly gritting the roads. And it's not uncommon for local councils to grit the roads every single day at this time of year. Now, of course, they're not going to be stupid. Like, if it's a day like today where it's 10 degrees and they know that it's not going to freeze overnight, then they won't bother. But yeah, for the most part, they will. And that salt really can damage the bike. It can turn your bike into an absolute rust bucket. So for me, it is not advisable riding your bike during the winter months. But if you do find a day like today when you know that it's been wet, it's been warm but wet, and doesn't look like there's any salt on the roads or any grit on the roads, then yeah, you can go ahead. But I actually washed both the ZZR and the ZH2 just before Christmas, and I'm curious when I get back home what they actually look like, because, well, I mean, I bet you it's going to look pretty dirty, even though I've only been out for, well, probably by the time I get home, about an hour. But, okay, so for me, the biggest killer of not riding your motorcycle in the winter is the batteries. The batteries have a habit of really taking a pounding during the winter months, especially if your bike isn't ridden. But even if you do ride your motorcycle, I mean, I hadn't ridden this ZZR in a couple of weeks, like I mentioned earlier, but starting her up today was not easy. She did struggle to turn over. Luckily, she did. I mean, if she did kind of die on me, then well, I wouldn't have had a choice, but I'd have to take out the ZH2 instead. But I really, really wanted to take the ZZR out, because yeah, I hadn't ridden her for a while. But yeah, she's just as lively as ever. Can't really throw her around too much today because of the wet roads and that, but yeah, what was I saying? Batteries. if you want to keep your battery alive during the winter months, then you have no choice but to ride your motorcycle. If you have a battery tender or if you have a battery charger, then no, it doesn't matter. You can keep your bike nice and safe inside the garage and get it out in March, April time when the weather starts to get significantly better and you know there's not going to be any salt or grit on the roads. The one thing I will recommend to you guys, if you do ride during the winter months, you have to wash the bike down pretty much every time you take the bike out, because that's how the metal rusts, is when the salt is actually sticking to the metals, to the materials, and it degrades the materials. And honestly, after just a few short years of riding in the winter, if you don't do that, your bike is going to look a hell of a lot worse than than when you started. I mean, I use my old Kawasaki ER6 as a prime example here. I wasn't really much of a winter rider when I first got that bike back in 2011, I think it was, or 2012, I can't remember, maybe it was 2013. But then after 2015, maybe 2016, I was riding all year round, and I wasn't holding back, but I wasn't cleaning the bike as I should have been, and literally the bike was in near perfect condition in 2015, 2016, but then by 2019, 2018, yeah, the rust had really set in and the bike looked awful compared to how it did look in some of the pictures that I'd taken. But I hadn't taken any pictures of what the bike actually looked like when I came to sell her, unfortunately. I should have done, man. I don't know why I didn't. It would have been a nice little comparison between, you know, what the bike looked like when it wasn't being ridden in the winter and what it looked like when I was riding it in the winter. The difference is huge, man. Yeah, the massive difference. Yeah, so I personally wouldn't recommend it. If you guys are planning to ride during the winter months, then really pick your days. I mean, I haven't really got much of a choice because I want to continue shooting during the winter months. I don't really want to have a dry spell of videos during the winter months if I can help it. So I am going to be actively trying to get out and ride as much as possible, but I don't know, I might not get that choice really. We'll have to wait and see. But anything basically hovering around 0 degrees Celsius, I'm not going to go out because I don't think it's worth it. That's when it gets really dangerous. But yeah, because there's a lot of things that can happen to a rider in the winter months. Black ice is a prime example, and not even just for you. I mean, black ice on 2 wheels is dangerous enough, but black ice for cars around you, you just never know when someone's just going to end up veering off the road because their brakes lock up. It doesn't take much for brakes to lock up, and then, you know, they're coming at you. They're coming towards you, or maybe they're about to rear end you because they can't stop themselves. So yeah, it's tough. At least, I mean, if you are going to be prepared to ride in the winter months, things like hand warmers, yeah, it could be useful. The right kinds of tires, even the right kind of motorcycle can be useful. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend riding sport bikes or anything like that during the winter months. Maybe nakeds I think can be quite good in the winter, at least from my experience on this LH2. But yeah, it's just that rust, man. That rust doesn't take long to set in on a motorcycle. Motorcycles really suffer during the winter months. Yeah, it's starting to get dark really quick. I was hoping I'd have at least an hour and a half out today, but after taking some pictures for Instagram and all that, getting back into the swing of things, I don't think I'm going to get an opportunity to stay out for too much longer, at least shooting videos anyway. Yeah, I miss her, man. I really have missed her. What a machine. What a machine. Just experiencing that torque is like nothing else. It's so addictive. But anyway, guys and gals, I know that the GoPros have a habit of struggling in these sorts of well, kind of like, you know, the early nights as they come along. But I mean, the nights should should start to lengthen out a little bit now that we've had the winter solstice, so days should get a little bit longer, so hopefully we'll have a bit more of an opportunity to stay out for a bit longer. Yeah, this is our first video of 2023, so I hope you've all had, like I said earlier, an amazing Christmas and an awesome New Year. Let me know what you guys got up to down in the comments below. But yeah, thank you again for joining me on the first ride of the year on the wicked ZZR 1400. Guys, as always, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure to leave a like, hit subscribe, please. I'd really appreciate it. Go on, give me that extra click. And yeah, join us on Patreon as well. Big shout out to Mark W, Dope Style Gaming, Lone Wolf UK. You guys are absolutely awesome. Long time supporters and viewers of the channel. So yeah, if you want to join the ranks, join our Discord server, then hit us up on Patreon. We'll see you there. But yeah, thank you ever so much again for watching, everyone. Take care, and we'll catch you all on Friday's video. Have a good one, guys.